Today on Hunting with Brett, I'm going to be hunting a Montana mule deer buck. Now there is more to the story. So that morning we get out to that property. Right when we pull up, my two sons were with me. They look over to this hillside and they can see a doe and they saw antlers for a buck. And it is literally 2 minutes before shoot time. So they get out and they get their stuff on real quick and I get my stuff on. And we walk into this property. Now, when we walk into this property, one of my sons looks over to the side of this hillside or inside of a coulee, or some people call it a holler, saw two deer. My son who saw them said they're two does. Now, I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna let them go after this buck. And I decide, hey, I'm gonna go after one of these does because I put in for that region an antlerless mule deer B tag, and I got it. So I want them to go after this buck that they saw. I'm just gonna go after one of these does. Now, they go to one side and they're looking for this buck, and I am looking at these two deer, and everything changed. At this point I realize it's not two does on the hill. The upper one is a buck. Now I'm going to take my shot. So I knew I hit that buck just because he ran down to the bottom of that coulee while that lower doe ran over the hill. If he wasn't injured, he would have ran over the hill too. Now this property is not very big, so I can't wait. I can't track blood. I can't simply just wait about 30 minutes, 40 minutes to try to find this deer. Because if it is just injured, he is gonna trot through that coulee right to the no-shoot zone, which isn't too far. It's not like a mile deep or something like that. So I have to pressure this deer. I know it's unfavorable to some people, and it's just hunting. That's just what I have to do in this case. So I'm gonna look for him in the coulee. Finally catch up to him, then this happens. I put another one in him, he ain't stopping, and I'm not stopping. So I gotta keep on tracking him. I know what you're thinking. That shot was reckless. And I do agree. But at the same time, it worked out in my benefit. Because instead of him just trotting up that coulee all the way to the no-shoot zone, he decided to go up the large hill to the right. And hopefully that will exhaust him out enough to where he'll lay down and finally be done. And as I turn the corner, my oldest son, Tegan, is coming down, and he tells me, that deer is down on top of that hill. My youngest son, Jesse, is standing on top of the hill with that deer. He's pointing down at it. And what he tells me is that it literally ran up right in front of him and his brother, Tegan, and just collapsed. That's why sometimes pressuring deer is better than sitting around and waiting to see if it's down. And to let you know, it was a quick hunt. It was very intense, and I couldn't be happier with the results. A nice 4x4 mature mule deer buck. And here he is, my 4x4 mule deer buck. Got 1, 2, 3, 4 on this side. 1, 2, 3, and 1 eye guard down here. Very happy with this deer. Very, very happy. It was a quick hunt, very intense, but that's how it is on that property. It's not very big, so you gotta have to just pressure the deer. Sometimes you can get out there and set up and go after the deer, take your time. But when they're out there and they see you and you see them, you have to make a decision and you gotta be fast. Now let's look at the slugs that I pulled out of this deer. These are the 2 slugs I pulled out of that deer. This one's the first shot. You can see there's not much of an impact expansion on it because of the distance. And this one is the second one. And it's more expanded because of a closer shot. Let's talk about the first shot. Now this one right here, of course, was the first shot because of the distance. I don't know the range. I'm thinking about 120 yards. And that's pretty good with a shotgun. But where it hit the deer, when I was gutting out the deer, it didn't hit the lungs. It didn't hit the stomach. What it did is it landed right in that area where the lungs were at, and then the stomach's right here. So this wouldn't have killed that deer. Well, in a sense it wouldn't have. He would have died of disease and this festering. So I'm glad I went after him. Now the second shot, this one right here, it hit the lungs, just barely hit the lungs, and hit a bit of the stomach. This was the one that exhausted him. And the third shot, of course, the reckless shot. The shot a lot of people wouldn't take. Of course, I was waiting for him to kind of turn a little bit by that coulee to get a little broadside. I missed him, it went over. But of course, missing him and it hit that dirt, that spooked him to go to the right, up the side of that hill, through that coulee, where he finally laid there exhausted. And of course, I got my deer. And I was very, very happy that day. My kids, they didn't get anything that day, but of course, my son Jesse got his massive whitetail the next week. And that video's up already. And that third shot, but all these shots are blessings from God, but even that third shot, when I missed, was a blessing from God because it redirected that deer. Because not even 100 yards away, right about 100 was the no-shoot zone. And if he would have kept trucking ahead, he would have been gone. So God definitely blessed us with that hunt that day. And God blesses us every day. God has a time and a place for everybody when you get your deer to simply getting a job. God has a plan for everybody. His timing is never wrong. It's always on time and it's always right. And it is His will. That's number one. So we have more hunts we're coming out with as well. So stay tuned for those. Until next time, God bless you and have a great day.